Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
Need more energy throughout the day? Looking for a kick to your workout? RockinThatIDLife.com has you covered with delicious flavors you've grown to love in tropical fruit and mixed berry, but now fall in love with the new fruit punch and orange flavors. Try them all at RockinThatIDLife.com.
Realtor Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage LLC makes the moving process easier. Work with a realtor who plays and studies the game and will work as hard as the boys on the ice to get you the best deal. Check out Mike on the web at strikewithmike.com and jumpstart your move today. That's strikewithmike.com. Welcome to episode 9 of season 11, which is episode number 385 all time of the often imitated, never duplicated. I entered St. Louis Blues into a slogan generator, and it came up with, I'm thinking of a winning streak, a thick, choice, juicy 7-game winning streak. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Special thanks to RockinThatIDLife.com, Realtor, what? Okay. A special thanks to RockinThatIDLife.com, Realtor Mike Burgoyne at StrikeWithMike.com, and CenterIceBrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. Also check out our online shop at Let'sGoBlues.com for the best blues themed t-shirts at a fair price. It is Tuesday, November 22nd, and we are live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. To interact with the show on social media, our handle on the socials is at LGB Radio. Just search for us. You will find us. And if you haven't already done so, please follow, subscribe, ring the bell, buy a t-shirt from the shop. It would help us out. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm Kurt Price, and my co-host for tonight's big show are Bill Day and Jeff Ponder. And the agenda for tonight includes a discussion about the crazy season of streaks, I guess. Thick, choice, juicy streaks.
And not the streaks in our underwear.
No. And we can talk about a little Tyler Tucker and Nikita Alexandrov. Wayne Gretzky had a quote that I found that was kind of interesting. He said on TNT,
"You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
No, Michael Scott said that. Michael Scott said that.
True.
But it kind of plays onto what we've had to deal with this season with stats gurus and their analysis of the Blues, which I thought was kind of funny. Shen's take on the reverse retro jerseys, and then we got a game coming up tomorrow against Buffalo. So, how you doing, guys? There was a hockey tournament, I hear.
There was.
You participated in.
Two of the 3 people on this panel were there. One of us bailed because he's an asshole and had to deal with a sick child.
Had to deal with a sick. He wasn't sick. He was. He was had a stomach problem. It was temporary, but he was not feeling right. So, yeah. I figured it was best not to
giving you trouble.
Best not to venture over. I wouldn't have been over until like 5 or 6 anyway. So
I didn't get there till 8.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah.
It
went well. No, Bill being there was awesome. Seeing him. So he showed up right as my team lost in the playoffs. So he was the winning formula for us, I guess.
Hey, you guys are down. 5-2 when I got there. Final score was 5-4. So,
yeah, yep. We gave up a real bad one at the start of the second. It was actually a shorthanded goal that really doomed us. But yeah, we came back. We had a goal. I think 6 seconds left on the clock, and the goal was literally get it back to me or one of the other defensemen and just have us blast it, hoping to get a win, but unfortunately we didn't win the face-off. So anyway, but no, it was a great night, wonderful night. Bill Day did not win the Patrick Waugh jersey, unfortunately, but it did. And it's funny, Bill, because you and I said this, and I must have had 3 or 4 other people who listened to the show who were there who said the same exact thing that we did. When you found out, like, yeah, I didn't win, and my wife was like, oh, she won, and pointed over to one of the goalies in the tournament. Her name's Peyton, fresh into college, goes to Kansas State. Kansas State, Kansas U Is there a difference?
There's 2.
She goes to the one
Yeah.
we hate, the Jayhawks.
That's Kansas.
Okay.
Yep.
So she won, and I was like, well, at least a goalie won. And Jessica was like, Bill said the same thing. And then I talked to listeners of the show, and they all said that too. Oh, she was the goalie in the tournament, right? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, at least a goalie won it. Like, it was actually kind of funny to hear multiple people say that.
Yeah. And yeah, if it would have been a rando, I would have been, a rando who had no idea. And I assume your sister was just, yanking everybody's chain when she said Patrick Roy.
Yes.
Seems to be the kind of person she is.
Yes.
So
imagine that. One of my family member of mine being an asshole intentionally.
So if it would have been somebody that actually would have thought, oh, hey, I got a Patrick Roy jersey, I would have been upset. But the fact that she played in the tournament and, I didn't get to see her play at all. The fact that it was a goalie, totally respect that. Still feel shafted in the Shen jersey. So,
yeah, you lost to one of my ice hockey teammates over that one. So, unfortunately, Pfeiffer won that. Damn Pfeiffer. So we got a couple pictures for those of you watching the video that I wanted to share here. So this is one that Bill took as we were leaving. It's of Bill, me, and producer Austin here at the tournament. So he played. He had 4 goals in the tournament. He had a big tournament. Yeah. Wow. He was great. He told me he showed up at the draft and said that he has lost. If he's listening, he'll correct me. I want to say he said he's lost like 40 or 50 pounds since the last tournament. So
good for him.
He's putting the work in. So yeah, he had a really good he scored on me. I'm sure he'll be in the chat later to mention it. But yeah, we had a scramble in front, and unfortunately I did not tie up his stick well, pulled a Colton Parayko, and he tapped it in on my goalie. So
you didn't use your size to your advantage.
I did not. But anyway, so yeah, a couple more images here. This is a couple of the guys here wearing Let's Go Blues Radio jerseys. Obviously me, Austin, and then my ice hockey goalie, Dave. He played in the tournament too. So all of us wearing the Let's Go Blues Radio jerseys, which are beauts, I have to say. And here's Dave playing in goal with that beautiful jersey. Doesn't really match his pads well, but still looks good. And then from the back, Mr. Dave Jackson, listener of the show as well. And then here's me matching with the crazy blue pants that I wear for roller with that beautiful jersey. So again, just a wonderful night. Team Kraus took the whole thing, which was fine. Good friend of mine, and raised a lot of money. Don't have an exact amount yet, but definitely a lot of fun. Bill, thank you for coming. Kurt, I know if you could have been there, you would have been.
I was planning on coming,
Yeah, but we will be having hopefully this again, same time next year, Saturday before Thanksgiving. So mark it on your calendars. Hope to see you all out there.
A fellow number 12 won the tournament. Kraus is 12, right?
Yes, he is.
Yep.
There you go. So I bet you're happy.
Well, if I'm not there and I can't play and be a part of the winning team, then at least a number 12. He captained the team, right, Kraus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 12.
Frank Hart, guy Frank Hart. He unfortunately had some family issues. He had to bow out last minute, but we did get his spot filled. Number of listeners in the show. It was funny. I had one guy, and God, please message me. I forgot who it was because I was dealing with a lot at the start of the tournament. One of the guys came up and he's like, "Hey man, big listener of the show. Signed up just because you talk about it on the show. Really happy to be here." Can't remember who you are. I think your name was Chris. But sorry, Chris. I was dealing with trying to get the refs suited up and getting them ready to go for the first game. But
and get them
appreciate
drunk.
that. Let's not talk about that. That was quite the issue. Yeah, Kurt, basically, our referees, who we paid a handsome sum to work the tournament, got wasted during the tournament. I mean, piss-ass drunk, couldn't even stand up properly. It was bad. So that was fun.
Hey, well, fun was had by all then, including the officials.
Apparently.
I see you're sporting a Kirkwood Turkey Day hat.
So it's
toque.
reversible.
Yeah.
It's Kirkwood and Webster Groves.
Okay.
But I am sporting Kirkwood tonight because it's a little closer to where your lady lives.
And Randy Molman is doing the play-by-play for that game. He has not been on the show, Randy Molman.
Oh,
From
yeah.
the
No,
Mohole. Yeah.
this is for the turkey trot on Thursday. Yeah,
Kirkwood Webster Groves is the football game though.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that's from the trot. I just saw it said Turkey Day and Kirkwood Webster Groves. So
Hang on, other way.
Turkey Day
there.
run. Okay.
Turkey Day run.
I thought you were sporting it for the football game. Okay.
No, this is I do their run every year. So I always sport Kirkwood because one, I used to live there, and two, because wonderful Amy lives there. Well, close to there.
Close by. Very close by. Yeah. The official beers of episode number 385. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is CPrice12. Jeff says J Ponder 94. Bill is Billy Blue Note 33. And let's go. I seen orders before. Yeah, Bill.
Yeah. All right. So
nice. Is that the cola?
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
cola.
it is the cola.
Nice.
I am in training camp for Friday. Is how I'm looking at
Nice.
this.
Bourbon County release day.
Yeah, so Bourbon County Black Friday this Friday. If you want to see a drunk Kurt Price and a drunk Bill Day and a drunk bunch of other people we know, Global Brew Global Brew
Edwardsville.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
will
getting there
be
about about what,
mid-afternoon-ish.
1 o'clock or so, something like
Yeah,
that.
I still haven't decided if I'm gonna work.
There's a sugar
For those on the podcast, Bill made sure to use the air quotes for work.
Well, it's where I work is related to the securities market, which close early, so I can get a few hours off, but I think I'm taking the day off. I think I will be disconnected. I'm gonna go stand in line at Deerberg's like I always do at 6 a.m. to get the variants. Looking forward to the coffee variant this year. Hopefully that's gonna be around. Global Brew in the afternoon for some soccer and hockey this year.
and
Yes.
there's a Sugar Fire right next door. So there's it's a nice little, and I don't know what the weather is going to be like on Friday. I haven't checked.
Warm and cloudy.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, not cool, warm.
Yeah.
And they have a little outdoor area there. How warm? Like 60s or
possibly 60s. It's supposed to rain all day Saturday. So.
Okay. Well, maybe they got the little fire pits going out there too.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
But
1 o'clock or so.
And what time's US versus England?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't checked the time.
2,
I think it's
Is it 2?
I think it's mid-afternoon. So
Perfect.
it's gonna be busy, but it's
we're there until it gets dark.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Oh, well, perfect.
All right. So we get there at noon.
Might be busy then. Let's get there earlier.
We get there at noon.
We should.
Yeah.
I'm telling people 1
definitely
o'clock,
should
but maybe we'll get there at noon. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
plan. That's
Whoever's
the
there
play.
first saves like a table of 8. All right.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I've got
If they let you.
I don't do the black.
They did last year.
Yeah. We had a big group. Go on to Jeff for his beer.
Yeah, my turn. Yeah. Guys, I am very excited to say I have the Fat Elvis tonight.
Nice.
Finally found it at the Schnucks by me. I don't know if they were just late in getting it or if they were just happened to be in stock when I was there. But they have not had it since it was released. And finally last week, I think it was last Friday, I texted all you and Amy and was like, look what I finally found. And I bought a couple of them. So very excited. Good stuff. Those of you that maybe missed last week's show or any show we've talked about it, Absence of Light, peanut butter, chocolate, and banana milk stout. And you can definitely taste the banana. It's so good.
Heavy on the banana, which I appreciate. I always hate it when you get a beer that sounds really good. Like, oh, that's got a lot of, it's marketed as, this chocolatey whatever. And you get it and it's like, you can't taste what it advertises it being. So I'll just taste it more like coffee than chocolate. Something
Right.
like that. I hate that.
Yep.
So but that beer is heavy on the banana, which is fantastic. I'm happy for you that you found it.
Yes, that's what I appreciate about it is the banana.
Yep.
And for those of you who like the normal absence of light, you get that taste too, but there's just an added banana. It's a flavor overload, honestly, as advertisey as that sounds. It is very much oh my God, I've got so many flavors going through my mouth right now, and it's amazing.
I just caught the last tail bit of that. My son was talking to me.
That's what she said.
You got so many flavors going through your mouth. It's amazing.
It's true.
My beer, this is a summer beer, but I don't give a damn. It is from Excel Brewing in Breeze, Illinois, and it's called Brewski, and it's a tropical shandy made with ski soda.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ski flavoring.
nice.
It's good. If you ever
Yeah.
had ski soda, it's delicious.
That's what they have at Sugar Fire, right?
No.
Yeah.
Is it? They have Excel at Sugar Fire? I thought they had.
No. They do have Excel. I don't think they have ski.
Oh, okay. That might
What?
be right.
How do you have Excel and not ski? That's their
think.
primary soda.
It's been a while.
I thought they
since
had
I've
like
been there.
the frosty line of sodas or their own. I don't know. Maybe it is Excel.
I'm looking. Let's see if it'll
Kurt-
load on their website.
Kurt, be careful. You have a Yeti behind
I
you.
have a Yeti behind me. Yeah, my dog. You want under the desk, buddy? You want under the desk? Go on the desk. That's his little camp out spot while I do the show. I think I was blocking it with my chair. Oh, all right. We're due for a break here, but after that, we'll talk about the last couple of games versus the Anaheim Ducks. But first, a word from
Before you go, it is ski soda at Sugar Fire.
Okay. Oh, cool. Good.
Yeah.
Excel. Do they actually have ski, or do they have just Excel lineups?
It just says they serve ski soda
Okay.
at all Sugar Fire.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. If they have Excel products, they would have ski. That's their big one.
Yep.
All right.
Every beer league hockey night, I grab my hockey bag and sticks and throw them in the trunk of my car. And the very next thing I do, I mix up a boost of energy courtesy of RockinThatIDLife.com. It's formulated to break up its delivery in 3 ways, which helps me get through all 3 periods of hockey. Phase 1 provides a rapid onset of energy, concentration, alertness, and motivation. By period 2, I'm receiving a dose of sustained energy, increased focus, metabolism, cognitive function, performance, and feelings of well-being, which I need with the way I play. In Phase 3, I'm getting fatigue protection without jitters and crash, an elevated mood, and a reduction of fluid retention to help me make the big play when it counts. This same triphasic approach helps me when I drink it during work hours or simply just for a pick-me-up when I need it. Try one of the 4 energy flavors by visiting RockinThatIDLife.com, but make sure to email Dustin at RockinThatIDLife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
We got a comment in the YouTube chat from the Hockey Kid. Is that a new listener? Have we seen
That's
them
a
before?
new live listener.
A new live listener. Asks, are they playing tonight? Is it got a little Stars logo there in the icon? I'm not.
The
Should
Blues
talk
are
about
not
the
playing.
No, the Blues are playing tomorrow.
No.
Wednesday.
No, we will not be having a show right now if the Blues are playing right now.
Right. We're not the Hawaii Blues fan. Who does that?
I just don't see the point in competing with the thing that you're covering. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Right. I don't get that either. I wouldn't it doesn't seem like a good idea for us, for what we do.
No.
We're talking about now if we got the game on the screen with us, which we can't do.
Even then, I don't know. Is it worth it? I guess it'd be like the Manning cast. That could be cool.
It'd be like
yeah, you're right. They wouldn't let us do it.
No, but like Steve Dangle does the whole watch the game with Steve on Sportsnet, which is kind of cool. I did that a couple times when the Leafs from the playoffs last year to watch. It was fun to see him react to the Leafs struggles.
Yep.
Because he's such a diehard. But that was pretty cool. And if you could do it, that'd be awesome to have the game up and we're just commenting along and have people commenting on the chat. And they watch it with us or on their screen, but they're watching on delay. I mean, if they're watching with us, because it wouldn't be synced with. It'd be
kind of like Mystery Hockey Theater, how we do that, except it would be with a live game. So that would be fun. It would be cool. I do wonder how many people would tune in, though.
Yeah, and, I mean, maybe in between periods, but
I mean, we'd enjoy it. That's all that matters,
right? No, this show is all for us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that we're bigger than the thing that we talk about?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Did I imply that? If I imply that, I'm sorry. I did not mean that. Maybe someday.
No.
You never know. So back-to-back W's at home versus the Ducks have extended the Blues win streak to 6 games and then 7 games. It would have been a shame to actually end the winning streak against a team like the Ducks. They're struggling hard. Last place in the Pacific, last overall in the NHL. 5-13-1 for 11 points, and they play the 20th game of the season on Thursday, and they haven't won a game in regulation yet this season. They have 5 wins. That? Yeah, they have 5 wins, and they're all in overtime. They are
right. Am I right? Bill, correct me, please. I'm awful at math. They're almost a fourth of the way through the season, right? And they still haven't won a game in regulation.
Just a tick below a fourth, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 22 games, 23 games is a fourth. Like
no 20 and a half would be
right.
The fourth.
Right.
Yeah, just a tick under it.
You've gotten to the quarter point.
Yeah, get through
that
your blows. I mean, listen, we've seen some bad teams. Don't get me wrong, like bad teams, but like to not win one game and this has got to be close to a record, right?
In your first 20, yeah.
In your first 20, not win one game in regulation, that's nuts.
I mean, they have 5 wins in overtime, which is a lot.
That's
in
great.
20 games. Yeah, no, I mean, a win's a win.
Don't have one yet, right?
In overtime? Yeah, they have one.
They have the shootout win.
Yep. That was their first overtime game.
Yeah.
So, and the Ducks were bad in this first game. I thought they were terrible.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
They were every bit their last place in this game.
I'll admit I didn't watch the full game because that was the day of the Ponder Cup. It was hard to, but I did watch the what do they call that? The extended highlights and
the condensed game.
The condensed game, and from what I saw, it just looked like the Blues just steamrolled them.
Well, the Ducks, off to a terrible start this season, and not much was expected of them this season anyway. But speaking of rough stretches, after a decent start, Ottawa has fallen off the table, going 2-7 and 1 in the last 10, and they're only 2 points ahead of Anaheim. Buffalo has lost 8 straight after a 7-3 start to the season, which they do every year. They got to a great start and they fall apart.
They did win tonight.
They did win tonight, and they wrote their winning streak. Yes. So
who they win? Who they beat tonight?
Montreal.
Fuck you.
Honestly, I
and it was 7-2, wasn't it? 7-2.
It was 7-2.
I did not answer to that question. I really did.
No, that's fine. It's they had 2 goals in the first minute.
Yeesh.
Damn.
Tage Thompson and Jeff Skinner both have monster nights. So
Chicago has slipped to the bottom tier of the standings, losing 4 straight and only 2 wins in the last 10 after a decent start. So my point with this right now, what we're talking about is that, not to get too wrapped up in early season performances by teams, that things tend to change, sometimes drastically. It happens every year with teams. And we've seen that very thing with the Blues this year, drastically, winning 7 straight after losing 8 straight. Right.
And maybe this is just defending the way that I was acting, but it's not normally as drastic as we've seen with the Blues.
No, this is drastic and quick. I wasn't even. I don't think anybody was expecting, the 8 game and the 7 game streaks.
Well, and
right?
No one was, because that is apparently an NHL record. Apparently, that's never happened before. which is
losing 8 straight
insane.
and then winning. Yeah, the most wins in a row after losing 8 in a row. Such a weird, obscure stat. Why do
Right, but
cares?
somebody was going to do that math. Somebody was going to look it up.
Yeah, but it's like that's one of those stats they rattle off. You're like, who cares? I don't care if that's been done. It's a weird thing. It's an anomaly. It's odd, weird.
But just wait until New Jersey loses 14 in a row.
That's what I said online today. I was like, when New Jersey finally loses, they've won 13 in a row.
Yeah.
When they finally lose, they're going to lose like 8 in a row.
New Jersey isn't going to win the rest of the year, or isn't going to lose the rest of the year.
Oh.
First of all, that's Wyshynski's team. So I'm sure the advanced stats are perfect. So there's no reason to think they will ever lose a game.
Well, he doesn't have to use advanced stats with them. He watches every game.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. But the eye test doesn't matter, I thought.
Well, maybe
maybe it only matters when it matters to him. Okay.
It matters to him because he has to talk about every other team once in a while. And he can't watch the game, so he just uses stats.
Yeah, I had to chuckle to myself earlier tonight watching Lindy Ruff was interviewed by the afternoon crew on NHL Network. Jackie Redmond asked him what he thought the key to their success was, and he said, scoring more goals than the other team. I'm sure that's he total smart ass answer, and Jackie Redmond walked right into it. But I just had to chuckle with that being Wyshynski's team and his love for the advanced stats, and that's just
right.
Makes me laugh with Jack Hughes had a similar answer. I think it was after 8 games they won or something. Somebody asked him, one of the reporters asked him, how do you make sure you button yourselves up? Basically, I guess they had like a pretty rough second period. And they were like, oh, how do you button yourselves up after that? And he's like, well, we've won 8 in a row, so I think we figured it out pretty quickly.
So on Saturday, the Blues, dominated the Ducks. 6-2 was the final score. That was without Tarasenko, who didn't play due to an illness, and Parayko was out again with an upper body injury still. Buchnevich put up 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. Thought it was 5. They took an assist away later. Acciari scored his 3rd of the season. Shen scores his 5th. Krug got his 4th on the power play. Thomas got his 4th, along with 2 assists in the game. Both the Ducks goals were on the power play. Cam Fowler got his 1st of the season when it was 4-0 Blues at the time. So it was the game was almost over then anyway. And Adam Henrique got his 6th of the season on the power play in the 3rd when the score was 5-1. Kyrou got 3 assists in the game. Binnington made 30 of 32 saves and played well again. Gibson allowed 5 goals on 29 shots before being lifted after 2 periods for Anthony Stolarz, who made 4 saves on 5 shots. Ducks were never in this game. I'm like we said, they were. This was a bad game for them. I thought they played much better the next game on Monday.
Oh yeah,
much better.
They played great.
Yeah.
And our friend Doug Stolhan, friend of the show, co-host the Puck podcast, also does the Duck podcast, and he said that after this game, he said this is more heartbreaking than the loss on Saturday, because Saturday was a laugher. It was there was no chance they're not going to win this game. They played very well against a good Blues team and still came out with the loss. So for a Ducks fan, that was a much tougher loss to take Monday night than it was Saturday night.
Yeah, that makes sense. Blues tied, like we mentioned, an initial record, consecutive wins after losing 8 or more games in a row. The Philadelphia Flyers on November 11th through December 2nd, 2017. I guess they had won 6 straight after losing 8 straight. And then the San Jose Sharks from November 5th through the 30th in 2005. Each lost 10 straight before winning 6 consecutive games. So Kyrou has 7 points now after this game, 2 goals, 5 assists during a 4-game point streak. It's funny. This game, when you watched it, the Ducks were never in this game. It was a laugher. They didn't play well. Even the Duck podcast, right, said the same thing. They didn't play well. But and this is where advanced stats kind of like rears its ugly head to say, hey, hold on. advanced stats, they say that Anaheim deserved to win this game, in the deserved to win-o-meter at on the Money Puck. I got the link there if you want to. The 62 point. So how that works is they simulate the game 1,000 times, right? And 62.4% of the game, using all the advanced stats that they have that came out of that game, the Ducks win that game 62.4% of the time. Isn't that crazy? And it's like the Ducks were never in this game. They didn't play well. It's odd to me that and that just shows how in a small little small sample size here, it's like what are advanced stats saying here? What is it? Why is it giving them a 62.4% of the time that the Ducks are winning this game?
Quality of chances, it's got to be right. I mean, I guess the
Sure.
Ducks. I'm sorry to comment on this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull a total Wyshynski here because I did not watch this game, so I'm just going to comment for 30 minutes and tell you everything that I know about this game.
The Ducks were terrible.
I won't do that.
They were terrible.
From what I heard and from what I saw from the extended highlights, the Ducks did not look good. But they did have some quality chances on
They
Binnington.
did. And Binnington played well.
Played well.
Sure.
Yeah. Although advanced stats tell you he's terrible. But he played well.
Right. Maybe that's why 62.4% of the time Anaheim wins, because Binnington's terrible.
Right.
According to
That's
advanced
all
stats.
it is.
Yeah, that's all it
Binnington is a beer league goalie at best, according to advanced stats. So no, I don't know. I don't get it either. But again, this just shows why you have to watch the games.
Right.
It's funny. I listened back to a little bit of the show last week, Kurt, and you said, like, I hate to keep saying this because it sounds so stupid. Watch the games. And I'm like, why does that sound stupid? Because you should watch the games if you're going to comment on them.
Well, it seems like such a common sense thing to say, right?
Right.
It should be common sense. Oh yeah, of course. If you watch the games, you have a better understanding of how the game went and who should have won and who played well and who didn't, because you watched the game. Right. You know, that's just a common sense thing to me. I don't. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't have I think I said the same thing last week. I don't really have words for this as to how people approach it differently. They don't watch the games and just use stats, and then they think that their takes are superior to people who watch the games. It's so odd.
Again, it goes to this. That's why that.
Well,
I remember who it was. I think it was a sports broadcaster that said years ago, this is why they play the games. This is why the game's not put on paper. And it's because it's a game. Like, they're going to play. Things are going to change. Outcomes are going to be different. And yeah, I'm sorry. That's why you can't advance in 100 years. They'll have even better advanced stats. And I'm still going to be sitting here in 100 years. I won't be alive.
Yeah, sure.
But if I am, it'll say on my tombstone.
Your
just
severed head
the
hooked
damn
up
game
to a machine. Yeah.
No, my severed head in the jar, like in Futurama.
Right.
I'll just be sitting there going, "Watch the games, damn it!"
Yeah. So Doug Gibson, leave that coming up if you would on the screen for those watching on YouTube and Facebook. Doug Gibson says Money Puck had the Blues right in 2019, so at least their algorithms got something right, unlike Dom, except for those 8 games. So Money Puck was interesting in 2019 because they I assume he's talking about the big thing in 2019 was the expected to make the playoff percentage, the wheel, right, their chart, and early in the when the Blues were playing terrible earlier in the season, they had the Blues at like 0.5% or whatever it was to make the playoffs. It was something. So I mean, they had the Blues right at the end of the season when they were taken off, right? And then so their charts changed to adjust for how the Blues were playing. Early in the season, they had the Blues when they were playing poorly. It showed they had a poor chance to make the playoffs, a very poor chance, almost next to nothing, and which right, obviously. But that wheel chart, that expectations on making the playoffs, the percentage to win a round, whatever, that's all based on how the teams are trending and how they're playing and math. That's all that is. And how many games are left. I wouldn't say that Money Puck had the Blues right. I would say that they had them. They adjusted their numbers as the Blues went along that season, and they saw whatever else was seeing that the Blues are playing really well. So. On Monday night, the Blues played the Ducks again at home again, which is not something you see too often, and won 3-1. And they set an NHL record for most wins, 7, after an 8-game losing streak. Such a, I guess it was a weird stat. Parayko was back in the lineup after missing the previous 3 games with an upper body. Krug was a late scratch. Happened in warmups, as well as he had an undisclosed injury after warmups. Tarasenko was scratched again due to an illness. Hopefully he's back against the Sabres. I think he will be. The Blues win this game 3-1 and extend their winning streak to 7. The Ducks played like we talked about, much better game in this game. I thought for a while, tied 1-1. I thought we could. I felt for a little while we're going to lose this game because they were playing well.
Mhm.
We weren't. We played. Score a goal 11 seconds into the game. Acciari, fantastic. The Ducks were sleeping on the first shift. And Acciari scores, nice goal. But after that, it was mostly Ducks. Ducks. Blues didn't do a whole lot. We were outshot.
Yeah,
we were being outshot badly for a while.
It was a little bit of false confidence, right? Like the Blues, they go up, they get that big win against them just 2 nights earlier. Then Acciari comes in. Right off the bat, and just boom, pucks in the net, and it's okay, guys. Here we go again. Let's win this game again by 4 or 5. But the Ducks are like, hey, we're an NHL team here. Like we've got plenty of NHL talent. We can do things too. And we started seeing them battle back very hard, very quickly. You could tell they're pissed off. That's the biggest. And we said this last week. You said, Kurt, I think. God, I hope the Ducks get a regulation win before they play the Blues because
out of the way.
Because they're pissed off. They can't win in regulation. So they are doing whatever they can to get a victory, and they get laughed at 2 nights earlier. You know what? They're already down 1-0. They're even more pissed off. So this was a very scary rest of the first period and even into the second period because this team, you can tell they were playing with some fire. Let's get this going, guys. We got to win a game in regulation at some point. Oh my. You okay there, buddy?
As I'm ready to speak, I start choking on my own spit. No, I thought, the first game there was a complete lack of intensity from the Ducks. In game 2, after getting jumped on 11 seconds in, they found a gear, right? They were in neutral that entire first game. Damn it. What an awful time to
that's okay.
Deal with this.
The magic of editing post-production and the podcast, we can take care of that later.
Yeah, and fix my voice while you're at it.
Yeah, the live listeners are fucked. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what happens when you do a podcast with a cold. Or do a live show with a cold, I should say.
Right.
But yeah, no, there was zero intensity from him, and the only guy that showed up in game 1 was John Gibson, and the dude was so gassed he couldn't even get to the bench. At the end of the second period, for the Ducks had a delayed penalty coming up against the Blues, and he just that was the most casual skate I've ever seen. Getting to the bench because he had nothing left, and Stolarz went in the third. And you got to feel sorry for John Gibson. The guy's a quality goalie, just playing on some shit teams, and it seems like it's taking its toll on him. I was kind of surprised that he got the start in the second game, but he looked good. I had that same fear, right? I thought for sure especially going into the third period, with it tied, this is not good. They're going to get a power play. They're going to get a lucky bounce, and we're going to lose. But
Bill, just like in the U.S. and Wales game, because I watched it, it was an inopportune penalty, right? That led to,
oh my God,
a huge goal for the St. Louis Blues.
You want to talk about that game, and we could do a whole show on that one play.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah,
that was bad.
Yeah,
bad penalty. Yeah. And the throw in. Did you guys notice the throw in right before the real quick throw in, the quick turnaround, right before they scored? and the penalty happened when they scored. The throw one was illegal. His foot was in bounds when he threw it in.
I did not see that.
Yeah, should have been
Not
called. Should have whistled dead.
reviewable.
Should have been whistled. At the time to do it over, and then that wouldn't have caught anybody napping. So, yeah. Anyway, the Ducks' lone goal came at even strength in this game. Went off Letty's knee. So the only goal they scored, even though they played much better, was really. I mean, Binnington. There's no shot on this for him. It's a shot that's going well wide and just goes like 90 degrees off of Letty's knee and past Binnington back door, which was a common goal during the 8-game losing streak. I mean, there were a handful of those that went in off goofy bounces off defensemen behind Binnington.
Well, man, I hate calling out the Blues broadcast crew, but I don't know if you guys listen to or watch the game, but
yeah, they didn't get it right.
On Fox Sports. Yeah, they said like that it was deflected off the other guy, off the stick, and it was clearly off Letty. And it's just
I think Kelly got it right. I think Kelly knew it, or
it was Panger.
Pang was wrong about it. I think Kelly knew it.
I felt like it was Panger just being like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna." Yeah, I don't.
Just saw it wrong.
Just judging off what we've heard, I think Panger was like, "Oh, I don't really want to call out Letty here," and you call out the rookies, man. Call out the veterans when they do something stupid too.
Yeah, it wasn't even Letty's. I wouldn't even say it was a stupid play on Letty. It was just it
happens. It's part of being a defenseman. The guys that I play with give me shit all the time because they always say like, "Oh, you deflected that one in." I'm like, "Yeah, well, when I block 8 shots a game, one of them is going to get by the goalie. It's going to happen."
Yeah, and Letty has been like the leading defenseman putting pucks into his own net this year for the Blues. It's just it's his positioning around the net, right? He's at least trying to engage people.
Who did a lot of that when he was playing hurt? Bouwmeester.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pucks went in off Bouwmeester when he was playing hurt. Remember that?
Yep.
He was, and that's when he was in the doghouse with fans. Fans forget that. I mean, they love him. They want him back. I get it because he played really well once he got healthy, right? And then he had the issue with the on the bench. But yeah, people forget about he struggled for a couple of years solid. So Acciari scored 11 seconds into the game. Pass from Braden Shen put the Blues up 1-0. I don't know how you get a chance in alone 11 seconds into the game is beyond me. That's impressive. Fowler did tie it up with 18 seconds to go in the first period on the bank shot off Letty's knee. Was the only goal Binnington allowed. Played very well again. No more scoring until the third period. And the Ducks had 2 power plays in the third. The Blues successfully killed those off. Falk Falk got the game-winning goal in the power play with just over 4 minutes left in the game. And I forgot who it was for the Ducks that had the open net from a bad angle. It was I think it was a shot wide off the boards, came back in front or something, or was a rebound, whatever it was. And Binnington was sliding across, and it was a bad angle, really bad angle, and he shot it high and wide. And again, not to nitpick on the broadcast, you've been watching it. And I'm like, and they couldn't believe he missed the open net, and I was like, that was from a really sharp angle. That was a tough shot.
Was it Troy Terry?
Who was that?
I don't know. Might have been.
Might have been Troy Terry. Hang on, I'm trying to look it up right now. That's a tough call.
But yeah, I thought, and you know how you watch on TV and you see something you can't tell where the puck is for a second. I thought it might have gone in. Wasn't sure, and it didn't. I was like, oh god, thank God.
Was it Brett Leeson?
I couldn't tell you who it was. If you
said
that,
anyway,
that probably sounds right.
Okay, well, anyway, no, I agree. And dude, this power play. Listen, I know we have made jokes about the Perron lovers, which hey, I'm a Perron lover. Okay, I miss the guy. Yeah, we all do. We all love him. But he was not the problem during that 8-game losing streak, is what I'm saying. And we kept saying that, even though people disagreed. But Mason McTavish, Winning Unlimited, says maybe that's who it was with the empty net. I think he's right. But anyway, so that power play, I mean, just the touch passing back and forth, getting the goalie to move side to side. I mean, Bill, you can attest to this as a goalie. When a team is clicking, passing the puck around like that, and just, I mean, honestly, I mean, the Ducks, they did as good of a job as they could defending that power play. I thought they stayed in their positions well. They were blocking a lot of the cross crease passes, but the Blues passing was just
Sticks
on
and
point.
lanes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, for the way that it finished off, it looked like they were going to score right before that goal. Then the puck gets back to Falk and he scores. I mean, and not a dust off either. You know, like you see a lot of times the guy gets the puck at the point, it's dust, shoot.
That's
And
why he
didn't
scored.
do that. He kind of touched it, like kind of did a little like
He just
dust,
corralled it. He just corralled it.
Yeah, very, very quick corral and then a fire.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. Just
If he
a well executed power play.
If he dusts that off, he doesn't score.
Right.
Because Gibson's over in time then.
Yeah. And it was, it was kind of a broken play, and puck bounced to Robert Thomas, and he made just a great pass through sticks and found Falk. And yeah, it's like, Falk did the, the egg catching drill from Mighty Ducks.
Yes, right.
And grabbed it and yeah, he buried it. And I mean, it was heartbreaking to see, from a goalie perspective, John Gibson knew that, when that puck went in, he's like, God damn it, that's a loss right there. Right.
Yep.
They weren't coming back from that. And, it was a hell of a pass, hell of a shot. And yeah,
Thomas made that pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great pass.
Yeah.
And he had a scoring chance right before that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And the lethality of the power play, right? When they're on and they're clicking and whipping the puck around. Yeah. Top 3 power plays in the league.
I agree. And the power play has been good. I don't have the numbers in front of me what the power play is, but I did go back each game. I was wanting to see, okay, has that power play, when's the last time we went without a goal on a power play? And it's been a while. We've had a goal or two in each game on the power play for a handful of games now. Binnington made Acciari added an empty netter for his third goal in his last 2 games and his 5th of the season. Binnington made 27 of 28 saves. Gibson made 24 of 26. Binnington is now tied for 3rd in the NHL in wins with 9. He has a .912 save percentage and a 2.76 GAA, and those numbers have been steadily dropping during this streak. Jordan Binnington's last 6 starts, he's 6-0-0 with a 2.0 GAA and .940 save percentage, and has stopped 188 out of 200 shots.
Insert
are those
Wyshynski joke here.
Wait, I was going to ask, were those advanced stats?
Those were not. Because you know what? I don't read off advanced stats like expected goals. I don't do that. I don't think a lot of people, well, some people, I don't, because I don't think most people understand what they are. And they'll hear them and they just, in one ear out the other. They don't know what they mean.
I think there's a lot of people that do, but honestly, in terms of what we do, the 3 of us, a podcast, nobody wants to hear us rattle off advanced stats. You want to hear the generic, if we're going to give stats at all, it's going to be what you see on the player page. Wins, losses, GAA, save percentage.
What do they give on TV?
Goals, assists, points.
Yeah. On TV, they don't
It's the same thing.
No,
Nobody wants to sit here and rattle off and then have to explain what GAPG is. Like, nobody wants to know that.
What's his Fenwick? I don't know what his Fenwick is.
You can look that shit up.
I don't know. No one. I mean, 98% of the people do not know what that means. So it's in one ear out the other. Berube on the Blues 7-game winning streak. He is quoted as saying, "You just keep working. You keep trying. You keep grinding. You've got to work your way out of it. It's not just going to be given to you. We've got a good team here. There's good players. I knew eventually it would turn around at some point." And the thing with, when he says there's good players, I knew eventually it would turn around. I think that was my feeling. I didn't think they were going to win 7 straight, but my feeling when they were struggling and playing poor hockey and going and losing games, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, they are so much better than this. They're playing like ass. I'm like, they will turn this around eventually. It's just a matter of when. Will it be in time to do anything for the playoffs? When will it get better? I know it will, but when will it happen? And it, after 8 games, and it's turned around in a hurry. So they have a chance to basically wipe out the 8-game losing streak and on against Buffalo on Thursday. Doug Gibson says
Wednesday.
Yeah, I was
Wednesday.
gonna
Sorry,
read.
Wednesday. Sorry.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, Doug Gibson over in the YouTube chat says Acciari has been great, like the best of Bozak and Brodziak. That one year he was just about the best player in the team. 18, maybe 17 or 18, somewhere in there. Yeah, Brodziak, I loved him.
He was good.
Very sad to see him go, but I loved Tyler Bozak too. So yeah, I love those types of guys that, again, guys that I think you can plug in anywhere. And I know that, excuse me, Lance from the Drop podcast has been on the basically Acciari should not be playing, and if he is playing, keep him on the fourth line bandwagon since the season started. But when a guy is playing this well, give him the ice time. And I think we saw that with Bozak even. When Bozak was playing well, especially in his first season, he was getting top 6 minutes. And I think that's what you got to do. It's what a good coach does. He notices a guy working, getting the points. It's paying off. Get him out there more often. And that's why we're seeing a guy like Acciari getting ice time, even on the power play, because what he's doing is just working. The puck's going to the back of the net for him. So keep him out there. Keep him doing it.
Right. He's, I in our group chat, and I said I wasn't a big fan of the signing when it happened. I thought the game had passed him by, right? I thought the injury he had in Florida was potentially a career impactor, but clearly it's not. I mean, the guy's got a pretty good winning pedigree, right? Providence College, go Friars. He was part of the first national championship in my brief time alma mater's history. He's part of that Bruins team. We talk all the time about it. What a trip. He was part of that group. Easily could have beat the Blues for the Stanley Cup. The guy's got a compete level, and he's got super hockey smarts, right? That you don't expect from a fourth line plug, which is what I think everybody wants him to be here. He's smarter than that, and right now, he's playing exceptionally well. Use him. Don't relegate him because you signed him only to be a fourth line guy.
And I agree that, and that's the thing. You don't want to pigeonhole a guy into a role just because that's what you signed him to do. If he's playing and you can plug him in somewhere else and take advantage of his hot streak, it's like a backup goalie who is on fire, right? You might start him a few games in a row if he's unbelievably on fire. You might do that. Just because you ride the hot hand, you take advantage of that. That's a weird thing in sports. A guy will overachieve for a while, and in baseball, we'll move him up in the lineup a little bit, a few spots, put him in an RBI spot if he's getting a lot of hits. That's just what you do. Any outrage over moving him up in the lineup or putting him on a shift on the power play to see how he does is weird to me. It's like there's nothing wrong with that.
It's weird that you make those claims at at the point of the winning streak that we're in.
I know,
right?
Yeah,
things aren't going well. Why do you?
Yeah.
Well, you have to search your intelligence. You have to. Your intelligence has to come over the top of everything that's going on. It's like I accept this, but let me make it known that how smart I am. That I'm disagreeing with something that's working so well. That's
well, and the way to look at it too is let's just say Noel Acciari, you keep inserting him into top 6, top 9 minutes. You keep putting him on the power play. All of a sudden, he regains the form he had a couple of years ago in Florida, and he's a 20-goal scorer. And you're like, and then all of a sudden the conversation becomes, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying let's just say it does. All of a sudden it's, well, shit, now we can't re-sign this guy. And that's going to be the conversation. How to re-sign Noel Acciari, who was signed as a fourth liner, but because we gave him these minutes, he's become a goal scorer. Guess what? That's something to worry about next year. Right now, he is providing you plenty of offense and playing great defensively, great on the defensive side of the puck. Yeah. Next year is next year. If you can't re-sign the guy, you got a guy in Nikita Alexandrov, who we're going to talk about a little bit later, who has stepped into that role and been great, and a guy like Alexei Toropchenko, who has proven to be a good, solid fourth-line NHL player. So at the end of the day, to me, there's no lose here by just letting Acciari play and get the minutes and put up the points, because that's what you need right now is a guy who can put the points on the board, and he's doing it well, and he's playing great. Again, not just offensively, but defensively too.
I think a lot of people fall into that weird void where they look too far ahead and they worry about things now. Like a player with a contract, for example, they're all pissed off because in 3 years, it might not look very good. I'm like, oh, worry about that in 3 years. I don't give a shit about that right now. I'll worry about the now, worry about the later. I think that's how most GMs in the NHL kind of handle things. They're worried about the now, they worry about the later, because a lot of stuff can happen between now and whenever that futuristic point is. So many things can happen that you make the call at the time.
Let me insert an asterisk. Most GMs who are trying to win right now, that's how they see things.
Sure. Yes.
Doug Armstrong right now is, our cup window is open. I don't care that I signed Colton Parayko or Braden Shen to contracts where at the end of it, they may look bad. I don't care about that. I'm trying to win right now. Whereas a GM like in Buffalo might say, I'm going to sign a guy now to an 8-year contract. Tage Thompson comes to mind, a guy that maybe isn't looking great, but in 2 to 3 years, he'll be in his prime, and this is going to look like a fucking steal. And I think that's the goal, too. So,
well, he's playing
yes.
well, though.
Well, yeah, Tage Thompson is.
Oh, I thought you said he wasn't playing well, but now.
No. I'm saying that maybe you sign him before he starts playing well.
Well, that was
you think it's getting to a point where he's going to be an elite player, which he is now at this point.
Yeah, after last season, right? Because I think there was a question of was last season an anomaly for Thompson? He had one good season, and that was it. And the same kind of thing with the Kyrou here. He had a breakout half season last year and then fell off the table, and they decided to sign him long term based on that. So this is a bit of a gamble, but I think he has a skill set to make that not be a bad contract. But without Parayko did too. So anyway, that's whatever. Let's see, money. We talked about that already. Money in this game. Money Puck thought. Okay, so we talked about Money Puck with the other game, right? The first game against the Ducks, and how Money Puck said that the Ducks won that game in a simulation 62% of the time in 1,000 simulations. Well, this time in this game, Money Puck thought the Blues easily had the edge. After 1,000 simulations, the Blues win this game 67.3% of the time. So, and this was a game where I thought Anaheim played much better. Blues didn't dominate near as much, but it's flip-flopped with the analytics from Money Puck. So interesting to see how the contrast between when you watch a game and then you see this kind of stuff.
Well, they plugged in that Colton Parayko was going to be in the lineup in game 2. So there it is.
Is that it?
Yep. The number one defensive. Whoa. What is this? Holy.
Do we want to, as a long comment in the Facebook chat.
It's fake. It's bullshit. But
yeah,
I kind of want to say, can we show this? Oh, it cuts off Bill.
It cuts it off.
Oh,
it cuts off something about hepatitis.
Yeah. Oh, that's
hepatitis B in 2017. I'm trying to. I don't want to
block him.
Did you? Okay, I was going to block him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Block him.
I'll block him too.
I hated having to do that, but Bill, but I had to see what it looked like with that long of a message popping up.
It took up the whole column there on the side.
Yeah, it really did.
It was hard not to see. It's like, oh my gosh.
But no, again, goes to show why you fucking play the games. I love the level of advanced stats and just the kind of stuff you can simulate now.
They're
before
fun.
in the day, back in the day, it was always like, NHL 95 did a simulation and the Hartford Whalers are your Stanley Cup champions.
Right.
No, that's ridiculous.
You know what? I'd rather see the simulation for that than a bunch of advanced stats thrown in a barrel. I really would.
That's true.
because
That would be
they're
fun.
both fun, right? They're
Mm.
both just fantasy things, and I'm
Right,
like, wow,
and-
I'd rather just do the video game simulation. That's more
Right.
fun to me.
And we always get that right before the playoffs start, right? They
Right.
run their simulation. I think they
Yeah.
do it before every round.
Yeah, they do.
That's
But
good
no, I
stuff.
mean that was like that was like the top level of stuff we got back in the day. So it is fun and cool seeing this stuff. So I hate poo-pooing on it so much. But when people just rely on that and say, "Oh, well, yeah, this tells you exactly what's going on."
People make a
No,
living.
Not quite.
People make a living off advanced stats, so they're gonna defend them to the death.
But you don't, and that's the thing to me. And I get that there are some people, the Chaikas, the people like that are making a living off advanced stats, as well they should. They've put a lot of work into it. But I'm saying my point is,
I'm not saying creating the stats. I'm saying using the stats.
and
that
that's
are
what I'm
created by somebody
saying
else.
is the
Yeah.
people who, excuse me, the people who report on the NHL and just use advanced stats. That's where I have an issue, because I'm just like, you got to take into account everything. I've said this a million times now on this show, that I don't care that you use advanced stats in 90% of your reporting. You can't watch every game, but to live and die on that hill and just be like, well, advanced stats say that this team sucks, so they suck. Okay, watch the games. They're on a 7-game heater. They've played well. No, they still suck. Like,
Because
that
their
is what
expected goals
drives me
for
fucking crazy.
their expected goals for their shooting percentage is way higher than it should be. Their expected goals for are much lower, and this is an anomaly. They're not this good.
Yep. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
A little
Only
late.
missed it by half an hour.
A little late. I looked up.
Missed
My
it by that much.
It's 10:30. Well, it's 10:30. Do you know where your children are?
They were out learning about Dr. Herberod and his herbs.
You guys were supposed to help remind me about that too.
Ah,
I didn't see it. Nobody else did either.
Oh,
You can't expect
are
us
we
to
your
remember
Google assistant? I
Yeah,
thought I
right.
heard you
I
say
was-
set a reminder for 10 o'clock.
I thought about it, but then I didn't want to go in like blaring off and say, "Okay, Google, stop the alarm."
There's got to be a way to set it in your
Yeah,
headphones, right?
I could set a silent. Sure, I could. But anyway, it's
Jeez,
a
idiot.
lesson learned. Whatever.
So
we can only be expected to be so professional. on
that's
this show.
true. Just a very minimal level of professionalism.
Right. Just enough. Just the tip.
Yep.
Just the
Just
tip
tip.
of professionalism on this
Just tip.
show.
Just see how it feels.
How does it feel to be professional? Just the tip on this show.
Did you feel my professionalism there?
How does the professional tip feel? I have a very okay. Just go forever. Okay. Run this joke into the ground.
Yeah, so that's what we did. Ran the tip into the ground. Bill's not even smiling.
No. And Prairie Dog Burl.
All right, we going to break?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait.
I think I've got to get out of here, unfortunately.
You gotta scoot. All right.
Yeah, I got a family thing going on. So yep, gonna get out of here, guys. Just want to tell you both and all of our listeners, happy Thanksgiving. And again, thankful for the awesome listeners we have of this show. Thankful to be doing this show now 11 years, which is ridiculous. Didn't think we'd make it this far.
At least 11. We may have miscounted.
We may have. That story's for another show.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep up the good work the rest of the show, guys. Do be proud, and I will see you all next week.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, Jeff. And
Happy
if
Thanksgiving.
anybody's in the turkey trot, grab Jeff's ass for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I will welcome a goose in the turkey trot.
All right. Let's hear from the strikewithmike.com and get off of this these bad jokes for running into the ground.
Magical 2019 playoff run, I was in the midst of buying my current home. Every time I spoke with my realtor, obviously, home buying was the discussion. But in the back of my mind, I couldn't stop thinking about what was destined to happen for our St. Louis hockey team. If only there were a realtor who could have walked me through the process, held my hand when needed, but was there to be a sounding board when I wanted to complain about a certain hand pass goal. Let realtor Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage be that for you. He'll have your needs top of mind as he skates you through the home buying or selling process, dangling you past any obstacles and assisting on all your home goals. Check out strikewithmike.com for more information or give him a call directly at 314-753-4060. That's Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage at strikewithmike.com, and that number again is 314-753-4060. Don't forget to tell Mike that Let's Go Blues Radio sent you.
I think our listenership is going to skyrocket now that Jeff is no longer on this episode. Look at that. Yeah, now it's on 38, 39. Wow, 60. Wow, it's just incrementally going higher.
Wow. And there's no possibility of, one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. No, one more thing. You're going to do it, aren't you? At the end of the show. One more thing from Bill.
Probably will.
All right. So a couple of noobs in the lineup recently during this win streak. Tyler Tucker and Nikita Alexandrov. Thoughts on their play? I think, Tyler Tucker, defenseman, got in the lineup on 11-16 versus Chicago for his initial debut. Played 4 games. No goals, no assists, 5 penalty minutes, averaging 13:01 time on ice. I think he's been fine. I kind of... Like I said in the post-game show last week after his debut, didn't notice him a whole lot, which was probably good. He's not making mistakes out there at least, right? He's just kind of just going about his business. But recently I have noticed him a little more with the physicality, pushing, shoving after the whistle, not taking any crap, got in a fight. I like the toughness out there. Something this team was lacking, I think, coming into the season. People were worried about. So if he can play some games, get that in there.
Right, you mentioned the 5 penalty minutes. It wasn't a boarding major. It was a fight. It was a proper scrap too.
Sure.
Right, and end of the period against Sam Carrick. That was a good battle.
Old school fight. Yeah, lots of punches thrown.
Yeah. Yep, it was a Donnybrook. He's definitely gotten more comfortable as it goes on. I think he's, he doesn't play timid and he's not afraid to jump up. And especially in the Saturday night game against the Ducks, he was very assertive offensively. There was a period I was listening to it on the radio on my way out to the Ponder Cup, and just Chris Kerber was just, every other word out of his mouth was Tucker. I mean, he was driving the play for a little bit there. Had a lot of shots on goal, and quality shots. Just hasn't gotten a point yet. So, I think he's brought a good short-term injection of energy to the team, especially with Parayko going down with the injury.
And now Krug out too.
Yeah, now that Krug's out, he's going to get an extended look, I think.
Assuming Krug is still out tomorrow. Yeah.
Assuming he's not going to be in the lineup tomorrow night.
Right.
And I think with a guy Krug's age, you don't rush him back, right? If there's a question, let the rookie get another game in. I think one thing the Blues didn't miss with Colton Parayko, and this was my observation on Tucker, was he brings an intensity to the game every shift. He's focused, he's dialed in, whereas Parayko sometimes seems to tune out and not bring the intensity every shift. So I almost felt like it was noticeable that Parayko was back in the lineup. The Blues' intensity dropped a little bit, and the Ducks turned it up, and it became a very close game. So I'll be interested to see if that continues tomorrow night with Buffalo. I assume Parayko is going to be back in there.
Nikita Alexandrov They are 7-0 with him in the lineup. So he came in 7 games ago. Made his national debut on November 10th versus San Jose. He has no goals, 1 assist and a +1 in 7 games played. He averages 9.22 time on ice. That's the lowest number time on ice for all the forwards. You know, I've liked him. I think he's been decent on that fourth line. I think I haven't really disliked anything he's done out there. He's a steady presence on a line that has been pretty solid during this win streak, the fourth line. And I think that if the team is going through a lull in a game and that fourth line comes out, they're the ones that are picking it up and getting zone time and getting some chances. And that fourth line has been out there and been pretty consistent about that. So, and he's part of that. So now he hasn't got anything on the scoreboard except for the 1 assist, but I think a few points here and there will come for him because he's around the net. He's getting some chances, but I think that's one thing that stood out to me is that him just being part of a fourth line that kind of just works well together right now. Like I said, especially when the other team might be pressuring and the got a couple of bad shifts, we're getting hemmed in or something, but the fourth line comes out there and turns it around a little bit and goes the other way. So
Right.
I've liked.
Yeah, no, he's definitely brought a North game with him. He's always pushing the play. Kind of reminds me of the old CPA line, right? Where you put him out there and you knew you were going to get a good solid forecheck deep in the offensive zone. And that seems to be, when you're noticing him, and like you said, he's getting less than 10 minutes a night, right? So you notice him when he's on the ice, and it's always in the offensive zone, right? Maybe not creating a ton of chances, but keeping the other team hemmed in. They're not getting a lot of opportunities coming back the other way. And he's a big enough body. He's not afraid to play the physical game. He's not a Toropchenko, not that massive. Probably doesn't have as big an offensive upside, but I wouldn't be surprised if those guys together had a game where they didn't rattle off 4 points between them in a game.
I mean, I like him a lot more than Logan Brown. Because when Logan Brown's out, so you wonder how much time he'd be getting if Brown was healthy.
Right.
Right.
And that's what are the blue stats with Logan Brown in the lineup? 0-6. Right.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's
it's not good.
Right. He was in there for the majority of the he was the guy that went in when they lost at Winnipeg.
Yep.
Right. And he was in there until he got injured. I think it was 5 or 6 games. He's in, and I think it's that, kind of what I was alluding to with Parayko. It's the intensity, right? There's just a big drop off in intensity. I think Logan Brown's a really talented hockey player, but he's probably going to be a career AHLer. He can probably be a top 6 AHLer, but I don't think he's going to unless he really works on his game, and then it develops into a Pat Maroon type where he is an effective fourth liner. I don't see him being the kind of guy to grind it out night in, night out.
Ken Morris checking in the YouTube chat says Crackner Porter Reeves was a great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to those series against the Blackhawks. Man, they were good.
I was a big Chris Porter fan.
Yeah,
liked him. He was a fun player to watch. Put up some points too.
Yeah, he was a talented dude.
He was Adam Cracknell. And who doesn't like Ryan Reeves?
Not in the lineup for the Rangers. He's injured right now, right?
He was hurt, wasn't he? I thought he was.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not playing tonight.
Well, I haven't seen him. Seen him, but that doesn't mean he's not playing. So.
Yeah, he doesn't play a whole lot. So,
yeah.
So Wayne Gretzky had a quote the other day on TNT, which I thought was I liked. So I saw this on Reddit, and he said that stats are for losers because what's his face? Bissonnette was rattling off some stats for goalies, and Gretzky almost interrupted him and said, "Stats are for losers," and which kind of threw which is funny, and I like to say it on the show because and the conversation we had earlier about advanced stats, and that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, that's cool. Somebody's in the same boat with us, not stats as a whole, but I get what he's saying. But he threw which kind of throws a wet blanket all over what Dom at the Athletic and Wyshynski's platforms have been, heavily based on advanced stats. So, and I know what Gretzky says isn't infallible. Just because he's the best player of all time doesn't mean he's right about everything he says either. But I get what he's saying, right? And I agree with the sentiment because that's what we've been saying on this show. I think, and I stand by that. Stats are fun to use for anecdotal elements of conversation, to spark conversation, to more in-depth conversation, or to help prove your point if you have one. But they can't be used to define a player, by themselves in stone. So I thought that was funny. Just to chime out and say stats are for losers. The biggest stat guy of all time, right? With all the stats in his category and in his back pocket, all these records. It was kind of funny. And I think part of that comes back to is that he defends Grant Fuhr as the best goalie of all time.
Right.
And that's his pick. But Grant Fuhr doesn't have the stats to back that up. I mean, he's a different era. I get it, but he's got the 5 cups. But still, his numbers aren't that aren't best goalie of all time stats.
But just the optics of it, of the irony of Wayne Gretzky, the stattiest person of NHL history, telling Paul Bissonnette, who is the polar opposite, that stats are for losers. I love it.
Stats are for losers. I think I heard too that Gretzky made a point when he agreed to do the in between periods of the panel on TNT. He insisted that the people that were up on the panel with him, for him to do it, he said it's got to be people that are going to talk to me like a real person and not talk to me like I'm Wayne Gretzky. I want them to, if they disagree, to say so. I want them to to have a back and forth. I don't want them to be timid about what they say because they don't want to step on my toes or whatever. I said I want that back and forth, and so I think he enjoys that a little bit, a little back and forth, a little
They have had some great tete-a-tetes on the TNT panel. I don't watch a lot of the broadcasts unless it involves the Blues or Canadians. So, but they do seem to have a better, at least for U.S. audiences, right? It's maybe comparable to Hot Stove, probably not as good, but I think there's so much more entertainment than Keith Jones Keith Jones and Eddie Olczyk in every intermission when it was on NBCSN.
I think the TNT panel is the best panel, or whatever you want to call it, analyst in between periods after the game, post game shows, the best that I've seen. It's so candid. They don't pull punches. They say whatever they want to say. And I think Bissonnette drives that aspect of it.
Right.
He doesn't give a shit. He'll say whatever he wants to say, and he's funny about it. I don't like a lot of what I don't like his shtick necessarily on Spit and Chicklets.
Spit and Chicklets, right?
Yeah, I'm not a
the toxic bro culture.
The toxic bro culture, exactly.
That
just annoys the piss out of me. But he cleans that stuff up for TV, but he still has the no filter with what he says as far as the game's concerned. And he's witty about it and funny. So I think that is what's fantastic to me. That has not really been seen. I mean, Don Cherry, I guess, had that mindset, but his takes were all over the place. He was controversial and he was offensive. And he was,
right.
but
And he wasn't part of a panel, right?
it was his comment, and that was
right,
it.
Coach's corner, right?
Coach's
and
corner.
it was Ron McClain to offset him,
Which,
and sometimes needle him, but more often than not, try to make it palatable for wider audiences. But yeah, no, I love the panel that they've got going on there, and that's I still can't get over the irony of Gretzky.
I know, it's so funny. Ken Morris says Grant Fuhr was a clutch goalie, came up with big saves when it needed. And I think that was Wayne Gretzky's point too with Grant Fuhr, because he'll say it a lot. He's like, he may allow 4 or 5 goals in a game in the high goal scoring era, but he goes when in clutch time when we needed him to be shut down at the end to hold on to that lead or whatever, he was the guy. He didn't allow that last goal. So
right, he Grant Fuhr is probably the most clutch and focused goalie, right? And he was very athletic, very acrobatic. I mean, you can, like, if you go out and just Google image search Grant Fuhr, you will not find another goalie where there are more pictures of him completely up in the air off the ice making a save, right? He had a style that was so distinctive and effective for its time frame, right? He changed his game. When the game got defensive, his stats were great. I mean, think about time with the Blues, right? The game that you always go to is the 1-0 overtime win against Phoenix in the
that's
playoffs,
what I was gonna say. Right? Yeah, guaranteed a shutout.
Give me 1 goal and we will win.
I know when we had him, friend of the show, Grant Fuhr, when we had him on the show, I asked him about that. I said, when you guaranteed basically guaranteed a shutout, he said, get me 1 goal, because I'm going to shut him out. It's all we need is 1 goal. And when it was scoreless going into overtime, what was your mindset like? Did you say something to the team where you're like, guys, I have shut them out. I just asked for 1 goal. Let's go. He laughed. It was funny.
Yeah.
But Winning Unlimited says in the YouTube chat, not all saves are equal, not all goals are equal. Based on the score, time remaining, and opponent, advanced stats attempt to weight the value of a goal or save. I can appreciate that. The Acciari goal with 11 seconds in during a tie game was only a small fraction of the value of Fox goal with 10 minutes left in the third. In a tie game, not all goals are equal. And Fox goal was like 4 minutes left. But yeah, I get your point. Yeah, I get it. And Ken Morris says also, I'm betting Bill Day is a clutch goalie, the kind of goalie you want in the big game. Bill was a goalie.
Why couldn't you have been my coach?
What's funny is that Bill was a goalie for a number of teams that I played on. And one game in particular was a playoff game that I was suspended for. And it went into a shootout, and Bill was fantastic. He played an amazing game, and Bill didn't allow a goal in the shootout for like 7 or 8 shooters, and we couldn't score either. The goalies were really good in the game, and
and who is at the other end?
Patrick Roy, right?
It was Patrick Roy.
Yeah, Patrick Roy. So a goalie who we beat. After that, it was after that in the championship.
The following season,
them in the championship. We had to get revenge, but we lost and they finally scored on Bill. But that was I think of that game a lot, and Bill was quite clutch in that game.
Yeah, and he was it was Walt the tanning bed guy that got the game winner, and it's because he crashed me in a shootout.
See, that's goalie interference.
Yeah, if there were replay, Vogelsberg would have called it off.
See, and I'm sitting on the bench too because I was suspended, and so I'm basically picking the shooters as they go, and I sent out Andy, Chris, Peterson, all these guys that were leading the team in scoring, and no. And I'm like, Greg is going next. Greg's like that unsung hero on defense, offensively. He can handle the puck. He didn't score. Havel didn't score. I'm like, God damn it. Nobody's scoring. And then, they finally got one. But Gulich, yellow helmet didn't score on you.
Oh my God. I had his number that night. That was one of those games that I was in his head after the first period and I knew it. And I could see everything he was doing all night. And yeah, that as a goalie, that's like when you've got a guy's number on any given night, it's like all you want is to go the rest of the night. You don't care if you give up 10 goals to other players on the team. You want that one guy. And I had him that night.
Yeah, I specifically remember after his shootout attempt, he hit when you stopped him, he just came back and the look of like, I give up. Disgust on his face. He can't score.
Yep.
So moving on. Braden Shen does not care for the reverse retro jerseys. Shen was quoted as saying, "Yeah, I mean, they're different. I don't know. They almost got a little Nashville look, so I don't know if I'm loving them." And I get it. I get what he's saying. The whole yellow, a lot of yellow. And like I said during our reverse retro review show, I like them a lot. I really do. But I really dislike the crest. I'm not a fan of that style, but whatever. It's historical. I get it. But I thought there should be more blue in the yellow to kind of break it up a little bit, because the socks are yellow and white and with thin stripes of blue, and there's a lot of yellow and white on the sleeves, and there's blue on the shoulders, but the bottom of the jersey is yellow and white. There's no blue, not really much blue on there. So it's like, yeah, I like a thick stripe of blue at the bottom and on the elbows and on the socks maybe, and kind of break up some of that yellow. But I don't know. That's me being nitpicky, I guess, as a designer. But so yeah, he's not a fan. So it makes you wonder. I know the fans, generally speaking, love the jerseys. I think generally they're well liked amongst people who look at them, review them, basically. But you're not gonna please everybody, especially with a bright yellow jersey too. So
right now that we've debated that in my household. Julie's not a fan, and a lot of the same reason, right? It's yellow. It's Nashville. She says everything yellow is mustard. I'm like, no, Nashville's
is a little. It's got a twang to it.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
As you'd expect.
I guess that's appropriate, but it is a little bit of a more of a little brown splash in it, or to make it not as quite as bright and vivid.
Yeah.
So there's that.
No, I like them. I don't like the. I think they should have reimagined used the simpler blue note that they have from the Salomon design, but that using the actual crest, I don't like how it bulges at the bottom.
It makes you look like you got a gut. It makes the players look like they have guts. It really does.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said in our our reverse retro review show, right? It's like the Brian Regan line. When's that baby due? Right?
Right.
There's going to be a lot of awkward conversations because of these jerseys. No, I like them. I'm kind of hoping I will get one of those as a Christmas gift this year. But that's, the thing is, and I think this is what the NHL and Adidas have tapped into. It's like, as a soccer fan, every year you get 3 new kits, right? It's expected. And the NHL is tapping into that. You're not going to get teams to change all of their jerseys, like 2 jerseys every year. So you introduce this variable every couple of years, right? It's kind of like, I don't want to call it a throwaway jersey, but it's a throwaway jersey, right? You can take a lot more artistic license with it. And
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
They work well, right? And you get to, if you strike out with it, you're still going to sell a ton of them, right? Because it's new.
They sold a ton of the red ones,
right?
I mean, they're gonna these look 10 times better than those
last year.
Well, these look 10 times better than those, and so they should sell a lot better.
Yeah, Right. And I go back to the Canadiens one, right? I love it. I love the fact that they're embracing the expos, right? That gives you opportunities to do things like that, right? Embrace the other sports in your city. Maybe in a couple of years we'll see Blues Cardinals actual, like, because those are some
Baby
of the most
blue.
popular giveaways, right?
The baby blue.
Yeah, the baby blue,
Yeah,
baby blue.
but we did
But
with Winter
I guess
Classics.
that's it's going to be a problem though. That with the Cardinals, at least you got to bring red into it,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
we don't like that. But do we want to bring the pink of City into it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. That'd be as a throwaway jersey. Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. People are going to criticize it anyway, even if it's nice. There are some people that hate the original Winter Classics, which I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
That's weird to me. That's just a classic, good-looking, solid jersey.
Yep.
Nothing goofy about it, or strange, or unusual, or different. Maybe that's why they hate it.
Haters gonna hate.
There's no accounting for taste either. We'll talk about the who's up next for the Blues. If you're listening to the podcast on Wednesday, it'll be the Buffalo Sabres tonight. If you're listening to the show now, which some of you are, it'll be the Sabres tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll get some conversation, quite a bit actually, probably, about Tage Thompson and the trade again, right after this word from Center Ice Brewery. Do you like hockey? No, of course you do. Do you like beer? Of course you do. Are you 21? Let's hope so. If you answered yes to all of those questions, run on down to your local beer distributor and pick up a 2-4 of Old Arena Lager, the Beauty IPA, or any other delicious hockey-themed beer from Center Ice Brewery. That's right, Center Ice Brewery beer is available at various beer stores around town, so check around for the one closest to you. That's Center Ice Brewery. Let's go Blues. Buffalo did win tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. Before that, they were losers of 8 straight, and we're dropping like a rock, as is tradition in Buffalo. Blues go for their 8th straight win before they take on Tampa Bay, Florida, and Dallas. 3 tough matchups in a row. So it'd be nice for the Blues to get this one under the belt, get that 8th win, wipe out the 8-game losing streak like it never happened, and then just build on that after, because they might lose a couple after this. We'll see how they play against Tampa Bay, Florida, and Dallas. They're in Tampa Bay, in Florida, then back home against Dallas. So we are at home against Dallas for the division game, which is nice. Lines in practice today. Buchnevich sat out, undisclosed injury. So Walker was in for him on the top line in practice. Walker, Thomas, and Kyrou. Saad, O'Reilly, Tarasenko. So Tarasenko's skating again, so he should be good to go for this game against Buffalo. Barbashev, Shen, Acciari, and Toropchenko, Alexandrov, and Pitlick/Levo. So either Pitlick or Levo. I wouldn't mind seeing Levo get in the game against Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with that. I think Levo's brought a balance to the line with O'Reilly, right? O'Reilly feels comfortable having that right-handed shot, and Levo's done everything right except put the puck in the net.
Yeah, we got Tarasenko coming back though. That's the thing.
But Tarasenko's coming back. I don't want to mess with that chemistry with O'Reilly, especially going into Buffalo.
So you put Tarasenko with Thomas and Kyrou top line?
Yeah, I think so.
Move Walker down to Barbashev, Shen, or move Walker onto the 4th line. Toropchenko, Alexandrov, Walker. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know. You take Levo's been pretty good. I don't know. Yeah. It's a good little problem to have. No Krug, Parayko, or Buchnevich today. So hopefully,
right. I think if Buchnevich is not going to play, I think you swap him and Tarasenko, right? And then you put you leave Levo in there, right? He has O'Reilly's play with him on his line has been what we expect of Ryan O'Reilly. When he's not there, it's not the same, right?
So it's okay. So if Buchnevich is in, and Tarasenko's in, you're leaving Levo with O'Reilly and Saad on the second line.
Yeah.
So where you're plugging in Buchnevich on the top line with Thomas and Cairo, or are you plugging in Buchnevich? Where are you putting him? Barbashev, Shen, and Buchnevich?
How do you break them up after
He's had
the two games that they've had together, right? They've looked so good together. I think maybe you put Acciari down to the fourth line. Maybe Lance is right. Maybe Acciari goes to the fourth line.
Well,
and you put Barbashev with Shen and Tarasenko.
I don't mind the Barbashev, Shen, and Tarasenko line. And Buchnevich on the top line with Thomas and Cairo. Buchnevich, Thomas and Cairo.
Yeah.
And then Saad, O'Reilly, Levo, Toropchenko, Alexandrov, and Levo or
Acciari.
Acciari, that's right. Acciari. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
or you take Acciari out and leave Pitlick in. Berube seems to be the kind of coach that wants
I don't think you take Acciari
left
out.
and right.
I don't. Yeah, I guess, but I wouldn't. You can't take Acciari out of the lineup right now.
No, you don't take him out of the lineup.
Yeah,
just
move him down.
Move him down a little bit.
Yeah, and that's not. Yeah, well, and I mean, I think when everyone is healthy, the forwards, it's hard to move Acciari off the fourth line. I mean,
yeah,
but it comes back to Ponder's point. It's nice to have him available to play elsewhere. Apparently, Levo too. That's nice that he's played well with O'Reilly. So being able to plug a guy in from the fourth line up to the second line or whatever. I don't know if I like Walker on the first line with Thompson and Cairo. That's interesting.
That feels placeholder, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, for Buchnevich. Yeah, maybe. Probably. Hopefully, because he's played well. He's on a nice streak. So it'd be nice to have him in against Buffalo. I really don't want to lose to Buffalo tomorrow, not just because they're just not very good, but if we lose to Buffalo and then Tage Thompson has a big game, then there's going to be a couple days worth of just people, talking up Thompson and wish we had him back and the O'Reilly trade revisited and all this crap. It's going to be annoying.
Yeah, definitely don't want to let this Buffalo won the trade talk have to bubble back up.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, but
it's going to happen.
I think the Blues have to understand that you just shut Tage Thompson down tomorrow night, right? Ryan O'Reilly, what your assignment is tomorrow night.
That's a great matchup too. I mean, O'Reilly on Thompson, that's slick. That'd be cool. Yeah, if he shuts him down, who won the trade? That's what typically I wouldn't really get up for a game against the Sabres, Eastern Conference shitty team. But there's the sideshow story with Thompson, former Blue, the O'Reilly trade, that I guess more of your diehard fans care about. So that's interesting to me. So I'm gonna enjoy that little sideshow. And hope it works out in our favor. I don't want to. Yeah. I may just stay off social media if Thompson has 2 goals, 2 assists, and we lose 5-1 or something.
Yeah, and I think we're probably going to get Eric Comrie in net for Buffalo tomorrow night. Anderson played tonight. Don't think they go with the 41-year-old back-to-back nights. So, but
it's got to be Binnington, right?
It's got to be Binnington, right?
Because you got the back-to-backs, Tampa Bay and Florida, so Grice will get one of those.
Yeah,
but it's got to be. So I guess probably I wouldn't even know. Binnington probably against Tampa Bay to give him 2 days rest before the division game against Dallas, maybe.
I would think so.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
Grice
to me.
against Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's kind of up and down. Bobrovsky got chased last week, and Spencer Knight came in, and apparently that was a hell of a game between Dallas and Florida last week. So, I would expect Grice against Florida.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Give Binnington 2 days rest before the division game against Dallas, which is a little more important than the one he would play against the
Hey.
Eastern Conference.
It's a Sammy Blay sighting.
Sammy Blay against the
Sammy
Rangers.
Blay.
Yeah.
That is so good to see that guy in the lineup.
I think it's the first time I've seen him since he was slew-footed by PK, right?
Yeah. It's, not that I want the Rangers to win that trade because I think we got the better player in that deal.
Oh my God, yeah.
But man, it's good to see that kid back in the lineup. I was it was in his initial call up with the Blues, and we were in Montreal, and that was my trip to Montreal, and his junior team. Everybody there, like I mean, probably the majority of Sammy Blay Blues jerseys. And I think it was number 64 at the time. It was before he switched to 9. Walking around Bell Center and seeing that large group of Blues Sammy Blay jerseys, it was pretty incredible. So, and who can forget his breakaway slap shot goal on Ben Bishop?
That's the stuff of legends.
Right.
That's one more amazing video clip from that Stanley Cup run. That was after Parayko damn near killed Bishop with a high slap shot to the collarbone.
Yep. Yeah. And you knew exactly what he was doing on that. Like scared the shit out of the goalie. Right?
Sure, yeah. He's hurting from that slap shot.
Hated it all at the same time.
Yeah, and he smoked him, and I mean, yeah, that man. We've had and I've said this before. I think if I were a Dallas Stars fan, I think the Blues would be, I think, a team I hated more than anybody else because of just the playoff heartbreak playoff Game 7 losses that they had to us in 16 and 19. Just back, those two were like, oh my God. I mean, in 16 it was, it was a blowout in Game 7, but in 19, I mean, that overtime, Jesus, they had Ben had the game on his stick. Cogliano had the game on his stick. And no one talks about Cogliano. I've said this before.
Right.
His chance was a gimme. I mean,
right.
Ben's was a fantastic play that just didn't go in, barely. But his wraparound. But Cogliano had a wide open net and just flubbed it, missed it wide from in close. Oh, God, I thought, and when I saw that, I thought the game was over. As soon as the puck comes to Cogliano, I'm like, game's over, because Binnington was on the right side of the net. He wasn't getting over in time, and he had a whole half net to shoot at, and he just fluttered it, grazed the post and off the net, outside of the net. Oh God.
Yeah, that was pure sphincter puckering.
And that's one of those things that you got to be lucky to win the cup. I don't care how good a team you are. Don't care. You at some point in the playoffs, you got to be lucky. And I think Colorado's luck last season was when Binnington went down, and that helped them get out of that series without too much more damage, because that was going to be tough for them. They were outplaying us, but they had a hard time beating Binnington. So, I mean, if he could have stolen a couple of games, yeesh, who knows? So,
fuck you, Kadri.
Fuck you, Kadri. I think we'll wrap her up. What do you say?
Yeah. No Ponder here to keep us going for another half an hour.
No, one more thing. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockandthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockandthatidlife.com, and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockandthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Mike Burgoyne from Real Brokerage Realty. Visit strikewithmike.com today for all of your home buying and selling needs. That's strikewithmike.com. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's tasty hockey-themed beer. Check out your local beer vendors for availability. That's Center Ice Brewery beer. Please drink responsibly. That'll wrap up episode 9 of season 11 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening. And thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For the early departed Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Let's go Blues.
Happy American Thanksgiving. Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available. A look at 4. I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to